Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now June 14th of 2021. Now, one major Star Wars project that a lot of fans are really looking forward to is, of course, the Kenobi series starring both Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader / Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi once again. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Also, make sure to check me out at Mike01 on Twitter if you would like to. Now, one major thing about the future of the franchise that a lot of fans are very excited for, mind you, is, of course, the big announcements coming our way in November to December of this year. A lot of new TV shows, movies, books, novels, comics, you name it, are going to be announced and dropped to actually create a more vivid image of what the future has to offer for this brand. And Star Wars Celebration of 2022, alright, so next May is also going to be a big deal. More shows and more movies getting announced on top of the other announcements this year. So we got a lot coming our way, and both John and Dave have a lot on their plate to work with, and they already are dealing with a lot of projects as we speak, like Ahsoka and others. So the thing that really takes fans at a big surprise, of course, since February of this year is the Gina Carano firing and exactly how poorly it was handled, and how Kathleen Kennedy just did not really own her own mistakes of handling it in such a poor way, which leads to a lot of fans to believe that it, yes, was done intentionally to kind of shame Gina Carano, to kind of embarrass Gina Carano in the public eye. And I wouldn't say that that's out of the question. So when we go ahead and jump ahead to where we are now, it's the middle of June. I mean, we're approaching the middle of 2021 and the beginning of 2022 when a lot of Star Wars projects are really going to begin coming into light. The thing about Gina Carano that really is very much interesting, of course, is that given that creators Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are busy developing their new Star Wars projects, such as Star Wars Ahsoka and even the Book of Boba Fett, John and Dave are set to announce a series of new shows by this fall that are set to blow fans away that will complete the beginning stage of the Star Wars roadmap to come. However, since the Gina Carano firing, many of those over at Disney, such as many of the board members, have been trying to find the proper way to get Gina Carano back. Surprisingly, in a recent interview with actress Daisy Ridley, she was eventually questioned about Gina Carano's and her firing by Kathleen Kennedy. Daisy Ridley went on to reveal that I am in touch with many of those over at Lucasfilm still to this day, that I have become very great friends with, and that all I know is that there are many of those over at Lucasfilm that always have problems with Gina Carano both professionally and personally for some strange reason, which I will never understand. Daisy goes on to state that to her knowledge, Gina Carano was never accepted by Kathleen Kennedy for the Mandalorian series, and that there were always issues behind the scenes for both Season 1 and the beginning of Season 2 for her character. Daisy goes on to reveal that even I was pushed to act certain ways that would make more of a stronger female character than what I really needed to be, and that this also was too pushed for Gina Carano as Cara Dune, which eventually Jon Favreau balanced out, thankfully. Daisy Ridley continues to state that I can say with certainty that it wasn't just Gina that those at Lucasfilm tried to fire, but others that I don't feel like naming were also being targeted to get fired from the projects attached to Lucasfilm. Meanwhile, behind the scenes and separate from all of this, Gina Carano is described to have been in the talks already with John and Dave about their meeting they had with Disney on May 27th to discuss her rehiring that would be finalized by this September. So I want to actually focus on what Daisy Ridley had to say about Gina Carano and what she was able to gather through some of the cast and the crew that she made friends with over at Lucasfilm, is that there's been a lot of others at Lucasfilm that tried to target Gina Carano to get fired that we're currently unaware of. And this does speak volumes. It tells us Lucasfilm's true nature. It tells us Kathleen Kennedy's true nature and exactly what she wanted for Gina from the very beginning. The thing that really does surprise me the most about Daisy Ridley in all of this is how Daisy Ridley had a similar treatment by those over at Lucasfilm, trying to push her to become a stronger female-driven character than she should have been. And even Daisy Ridley agrees with this, is that her character at times went way too far, as far as how powerful she should have been, or was, in the actual sequel trilogy movies, and that you can vividly see in multiple sequences in episodes 7 through 9. And I can understand why Daisy Ridley would have issues with that, because it kind of went against some of the audience, members that were actually watching this movie. Whether you're a casual or hardcore fan, for the longest time, a lot of fans always had issues with Rey being so very strong. And that's exactly why they tried to patch it with her being a Palpatine. The thing about Gina Carano, though, however, is very shocking to me of what Daisy Ridley had to say on top of all of this, is that everything that there was to do with Gina Carano is that Daisy Ridley was able to unveil that this was all pretty much a narrative, that this was all pretty much an agenda being pushed by Lucasfilm to basically have Gina Carano act as a stronger female-driven character, and if not, then that she should be thrown off the set. That seems to be their whole entire deal here when it comes to The Mandalorian Season 1 and the beginning of 2, just before Kathleen Kennedy lost her creative power in early 2020. Now, do I agree with, of course, John and Dave and their stance of Star Wars? I absolutely do. I believe that Legends is going to be a great piece of work in the Disney canon. I think that they're going to do great things for the Star Wars fans. It really is going to steer things in the right direction. So, looking forward to this fall, because this fall is going to give fans a vivid view of what the future of the franchise is going to look like. I also want to focus on what's been going on with Gina Carano. Now, May 27th, alright, almost a month ago already, there was a final meeting between John, Dave, and the Disney board members negotiating Gina Carano's return, or her rehiring, if you will, and a lot of that is going to be finalized by this September. So this September, a lot of things are going to be finalized that's going to give fans a more vivid view of what's going on with Gina Carano and her negotiation with getting rehired. And it's all up to Gina at the end of the day come this September. It's all a matter of if she wants to come back or not. And something tells me that she's going to say no, but I could be wrong. Maybe she does want to come back, but it's all pretty much pointing to Gina Carano at this point, because a lot of Disney board members, even those that supported Kathleen Kennedy in the beginning, are already beginning to turn in support of John and Dave, who basically now have more creative power than ever before, given that they've recently got major promotions over at Lucasfilm. So, without a doubt, guys, I think that we're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel here. A lot of more cast members are exposing the truths about what actually happened with Lucasfilm as a company and what some of their true intentions really are. So I would love to hear what each and every one of you guys have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.